Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I'm going to do at least one video. I might add another one if I come across a couple of examples, but I'm going to do a video on how to use the store and check. This is a really important uh, key or keys to use. It's an easy way to get at least a couple, three questions right on the multiple choice section. It's also a good way to check your work if you are doing something and you want to make sure it's right. So let me jump into this. Okay. Now, here's basically, let me say this. Let's do this. Switch it. Okay. I'm going to write some things. You can use store and check under these conditions. Store and check. So whenever you see the word equivalent in the multiple choice section, you can use it. Whenever you see answer choices that have a bunch of variables in them or variables in them, answer choices with variables, you can usually use store and check. Sometimes if you want to check the answer, you can go backwards and store. But we're just going to do this. We're just going to do a couple examples. Let me see. So let's go here. All right. So this number one here, you can see it doesn't say equivalent, but it says simplest form. And basically that's the same thing. They're saying take this expression and simplify it. Okay, this is not an equation. It doesn't have an equal sign. It's not a function per se. Now you could make it into a function, but it's not a function on its own. So this is basically just a store and check. And the reason that I know that is if you look at the answers, you see all of the answers have a bunch of variables in them. So that's always what you're looking for. You're looking for answer choices that have a bunch of variables. Once you see a bunch of variables in your answer choices, you should be like, oh, I can store and check. And this is what I mean. So all you have to do is choosing a number for X. I'm going to put in $1.25, and then I'm going to key this expression in, and then I'm going to get an output, and I'm going to find the one that matches. So let me kind of get this going so you can see it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a number. Remember, only two numbers that you should never use are 1 and 0. So I'm going to store this into X, press enter. Now I'm going to key in the expression, the original expression, 2X. I'm going to go ahead and make this mistake so you can see how to fix it. X minus 4, X minus 4, and then minus 3, and then X plus 5, X plus 5. Press enter. Now you're going to get an error message. It's going to say implied multiplication. You'll see this a lot. Basically, all that means is go here, and you just have to put a multiplication. So there needs to be a multiplication between the X and the parentheses X here. Once you do that, press enter. So you get this. It says it's about $25 and about 62.5 cents. Doesn't matter what this number is. We're just looking for the one that matches. So once we've stored it, we only store the number once. Then we just key in all of the expressions and see which ones match. So let's go. The first one is going to be 2x squared minus 11x minus 15. And then I press enter. Oops, that's supposed to be an X, not a Q. X. And then I press enter and they match. So I'm done. I don't have to do any other checking. I'm done. The first one was the answer. Okay, now let's go to another one. So this one is definitely one because it has equivalent. Whenever you see the word equivalent in the multiple choice section, you can almost always store a number and then check it to find the ones. The other reason that you know it's store and check is, again, all of the answer choices have variables in them. So Now for this one, I'm going to use a different number. I'm going to use a whole number. So I'm going to say 2 controls store into X. So I'm going to replace it. I'm going to make this bigger so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm storing 2 into X, press enter. Now that's done. Now I'm just going to key in the original expression just like we did before. So it's going to be parentheses, X plus 4. That's squared. And then we're going to multiply that times X plus 4 again. And that is cubed or to the 3rd power. Let's delete that. It's supposed to be the 3rd power, and then press enter. Now I get 7,776. Doesn't matter what the number is. We're looking for the one that matches this. So let's key in the first one. So this is parentheses, X plus 4 to the 6th power, X plus 4, bop, bop to the 6th power. And okay, that's too big. So now I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to change the 6 to a 5. That matches. We're done. That's the answer. So if I go to my iPad and the exam, I would circle this one right here. Okay, now see how easy that is. So you just have to recognize when to use it. So whenever you have a bunch of variables in the answer choices, you can pretty much store and check. Now, number 10 is also one that we can use the store key on, but it's a little different. It's not quite the same. This one, we're given a function and they tell us that it's going to be a quadratic and we have, it's going to be ax squared, but they tell us that a has to be a positive integer. So let's choose a positive integer and store it into a. So let's say a is equal to 3. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do f of x equals a times x squared. We're going to store this number first, and then we're just going to do what they say. And then they're going to say we're going to have another function, g of x. We're going to multiply the other function by a -2, and then we want to see what those two graphs look like. So let me get rid of this. I'm going to go menu 14, delete all that stuff. Menu 15, clear the screen. And then I'm going to store 3 into A. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to the graph. Let me get rid of this menu 14. Okay, let me make this larger so we can see everything. Okay, so I'm going to go tab, and I'm going to make this f of x equals a. Now watch this. When I type, whoops, not there. Delete right over here. So we're going to put a. Now notice when I put a in, it's bolded. Now if I don't put the multiplication sign and I put x next to it, now the calculator thinks that I have a new variable called the ax variable. That's not what I want. I want this to be bolded. So I'm going to put a times there and it goes back to bold, and this is going to be squared. Okay, so I'm just going to graph this. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So I'm going to change this color because I'm going to have another graph that I want to compare, and I don't want them to be the same color. Now, the second one that says, if Kaylin multiplies a by a -2, when compared to f of x, the new graph will become. So I'm going to make a new graph. And then my new graph, well, in my new graph, I'll make it g of x. I'm going to say g of x is equal to 2 times a -2 times a times x squared. And then I press enter. I don't want to create a slider. Now, the reason that it's doing that is what I said before. Remember, we want to make sure, okay, let me fix this. Tab, we want to make sure that our other one, where's our other one? Did we get it? Okay, so let me try this again. So I'm going to press tab, and then I'm going to make this g of x. Okay, and then I'm going to make this a -2, and then I'm going to make this a. Remember, I got to put a multiplication sign in here, then x squared, and then I graph it. And that's what it looks like. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit. So you can see that this is the original. When I multiply times the -2, it flips it. And so it's going down. And you can also see, I think that this one, the red one is a little fatter than this one. So this one, the new one is going to be, it's going to go downward and then it's going to be thinner. So the answer to this question will be, let's see here, would be, it's narrower and opens downward. So this would be your answer. So now all I did was I just stored a number, a positive integer into A. That's all I did. And then I just graphed it. So I used the store key and I used the graphing key, and I was able to figure this question out. Okay, let's look at another one real quick. Okay, over here, this is just an equivalent one. So basically I would use $1.25. I would key this in and then find the one that matches. Same thing with 6. These are both. And again, look, all of the answer choices have variables in them. So that's your other clue that you're looking for when you see a bunch of answer choices that have a bunch of variables you can store and check. The other thing is both of these have equivalent. They both have equivalent too. So these are very simple questions. The only thing it takes is just takes patience. You enter a number and you just got to be careful to key in the expression the right way, and then just go test it until you find the one that matches. Let's see, is there anything else I want to do here? Okay, we've already done this on the InSolve videos, but I want to show you again. We're going to use InSolve and store. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variables. So we've got A, B, C, H, and then we have V. We're going to plug in numbers for A, B, and C. This will be 2, this will be 3, this will be 4, this will be 5. And then we're going to InSolve for V. And then we're going to store that. So let's do that. I'm going to do this one, even though we did it in the InSolve video. So let me go here, make this bigger so you can see it. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to get rid of this menu 14, clear all of the variables, and then menu 15, start fresh. So we're going to store 2 into A. We're going to store 3 into B. We're going to store 4 into C. We're going to store 5 into H, which is right here, right? And then we're going to InSolve for V. So let's go get that formula. So I'm going to make this smaller just for now. And I'm going to do menu 31, bam. And then I'm going to do V equals, so V is right here, equals, and then it's going to be 1/2 A over B. So control divide 1/2, and then it's going to be A. And then remember, you got to put multiplication signs between these. So parentheses B plus C. And then I'm going to put one between the H and the parentheses. And then I'm solving for V. And if you look at it, that's the only letter that is not already bolded. So I told us that V is 35. So I'm going to take that number now that I've solved for it, and I'm going to store it into V. Bam, done. So what I've just done is I've made a true statement. When I put 35 into V, I've made a true statement. So now all I have to do is I have to just go through and let me clear the screen. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to see which one gives me a true statement. The first one is B equals control store or control divide. This is going to be V over 2A, 2 times A times H, which is right here. And then we got plus C. Plus C. Bam, that's false. So that's not the answer. So I can cross this one off. And then I'm going to try the other one. So I'm just going to copy. I'm going to try number 2. So I'm going to copy it and I'm just going to delete the plus sign and make it a minus. And then press enter. That's a false as well. So now let me try number 3. So I'm going to go B equals. And then it's going to be control divide. This is going to be 2V, 2 over V. And then the denominator is A times H. So I got to put a multiplication between those two letters, AH. Boom. And then plus C. And then I press enter. Got false. So I can eliminate this one. So it means that the last one should be the answer, but let's double check it. Gonna delete the plus sign, delete and put a minus, press enter, and I got a true. That's my answer. That's how you do it using the store key. Do I have any others? Okay, this again, this one was from the benchmark. For some reason, a lot of people struggled with this. They didn't pay attention to the equivalent to, they didn't look at the answer choices and see all these variables, but this one is obvious. So I'm gonna do this one, and then this is gonna be the last one I do. So let's do menu 14. Get rid of the variables, menu 15, clear the screen. All right, so I'm going to use $1.25. I like using a decimal. And I'm going to store that into X. And then I'm going to key in the original expression. Let me go ahead and make this bigger so you can see everything. So there's going to be 3 parentheses X squared plus 2X minus 3. And then we got minus 4 parentheses 4x squared. You just got to be careful and just key in what you see exactly like you see it. Plus 5, close the parentheses, press enter. All right, so it's a negative $6.81. So that's what I'm looking for. So let's key in the first one. It's going to be a negative 13. X minus 22x plus 11. Press enter. Nope, doesn't work. So we're going to do the next one. It's going to be a negative 13 x squared plus 34x minus 29. Press enter, and there you go. These match exactly, so that's my answer. So I would go to my test, my iPad, and I would circle number 2, and that would be it. That's it. So let me kind of go back to the beginning. Now, store and check, you're just storing a number into the original expression, and then you find the one that matches. You're checking to see which one matches. The word equivalent is a good word to look for, but even if you don't see equivalent, anytime you see any multiple choice answers with a bunch of variables in it, you can probably store and check. So that's it. I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to post it.